Do you know, one of the hardest things in life is to truly confront ourselves. We always want to see ourselves as good, kind, harmless people. But there's something else inside us. Something we hide in dark corners. Jung would call this the shadow. I sometimes call it the monster within. Strange, isn't it? We all carry a monster inside. And perhaps the most important part of spiritual development is recognizing this monster, wrestling with it, and integrating it. Let me clarify something here: the issue isn't about erasing, destroying, or suppressing that monster. The issue is transforming it. Making peace with it. Look around you. You can notice people who have never integrated their shadow. They generally appear, how should I say, innocent. You feel this when you talk to them. And unfortunately, because of their innocence, they are often angry, because life constantly takes advantage of them. Now, look at someone who has integrated their shadow more. They are like masters in martial arts. They are dangerous, but they don't have to use their powers. Their mere presence exudes an implicit danger. And this, believe me, is one of the things that gives people self-respect. Have you ever thought about it? If you're harmless, it doesn't mean you're virtuous. You're just harmless. Like a rabbit. A rabbit isn't virtuous, it just can't do anything but be eaten. But if you have the potential to be a monster and yet choose not to behave monstrously, that's when you're virtuous. For this, you first need to be a monster. Do you remember Harry Potter? Have you ever thought about why he's loved? Because he's flawed. There's darkness inside him. He can talk to snakes. He breaks rules. He's not always obedient. But we know he has good reasons for breaking the rules. If Harry and his friends hadn't broken rules, they couldn't have achieved the highest goal. This is actually a very common mythological concept: the hero needs to be a monster, but a controlled monster. Like Batman. Think about this: if you're going to be a warrior, you should want to win. And yes, you should know how to hurt people. Not for the sake of hurting them, of course, that's what differentiates you from a bad person. But you should have this capacity. You need to develop it. And it might seem strange, but this is a step taken on the path to enlightenment. People have long been given this bland diet of rights and impulsive freedom. But there's an absolute hunger for the other side of the story, the responsibility side. Think about it: technically, without responsibility, there are no rights. For the last 60 years, all we've had is a dialogue about rights. And this has left a void in the other half of the story. Most people find the meaning that sustains them throughout their lives not in happiness, but in their responsibilities. Impulsive pleasures fly away with the first bad wind. But taking on your own responsibility, ensuring the welfare of your family, serving your community, seeking truth. These are the things that will help you endure life's challenges. It can be difficult to talk about masculine competence and power these days. As if these were related to tyranny. This is especially difficult for young men. Even for young women. But it's very beneficial for people to hear that they need to make themselves competent and, yes, perhaps a bit dangerous, and take their proper place in the world. Because this is the alternative to being weak. And being weak is not good. There's an expression in the New Testament: the meek shall inherit the earth. But meek is not well translated. It actually means those who have swords and know how to use them but keep their swords in their sheaths. A better way to think about this: you must first be strong and perhaps a bit frightening, then you must be peaceful. This is not the same as being pure, weak, and harmless. And unfortunately, that's exactly what young men are encouraged to be. A very bad idea, because being pure, weak, and harmless means you won't be able to withstand life's tragedies. You can't take any responsibility. And eventually, you become cruel. And when you become cruel, you're truly dangerous. You wouldn't treat adult men like babies, would you? But young men need to hear this more: you can be a monster. Everyone says, be harmless, be virtuous, don't harm anyone, suppress your competitive instinct, don't try to win, don't be too aggressive, don't be too assertive, stay in the background. These aren't wrong, but they're incomplete. You should be a monster. Absolutely a monster. And then you should learn how to control it. Someone who cannot be cruel is not a higher moral being than someone who can be cruel but chooses not to be. And I can say this misleads young people. In a very dangerous way. Because if you can't be cruel, you become the victim of anyone who can be cruel. One reason people watch anti-heroes and villains is that there's a part of them crying out for their inner monster to be included. This gives them strength of character and self-respect. It's impossible to respect yourself until your teeth come out. If your teeth come out and you realize you're a bit dangerous, you're more willing to demand self-respect. And other people respect you too. This doesn't mean being cruel is better than not being cruel. It means having the capacity to be ruthless and then choosing not to be ruthless is better than being incapable of being ruthless. In the first case, you're just weak and naive. In the second case, you're dangerous but under control. Many martial arts focus precisely on this. They don't train you to fight correctly, they train you to be peaceful and alert, to avoid fights. But if you need to get into a fight, you know what to do. I think the philosophy is this: if you're skilled in fighting, it actually reduces the likelihood that you'll have to fight. When someone pushes you, you can respond with confidence. This is definitely true for bullies. With a bit of luck, a reasonable show of confidence will be enough to make the bully back off. The power you develop in your monstrosity is actually the best guarantee of peace. Jung believed it was necessary for people to integrate their shadows. But he would also say this was a terrible thing for people to try. Because the human shadow, all the things about yourself you don't want to realize, extends all the way to hell. By analyzing your own shadow, you can understand both why other people can sometimes do evil, and the terrible atrocities that characterize the 20th century. And without this understanding, when you examine Nazi Germany or the Soviet Union during Stalin's time, there is no possibility of bringing them under control. You ask yourself this question: how could these perpetrators be like this? Forget the victims for a moment, let's talk about the perpetrators. The answer: they are just like you. And if you don't know this, it simply means you don't know anything about people, including yourself. You need to discover why they are just like you. Believe me, this is not easy at all. That's why it's enough to traumatize people, and most people don't do it. This is why the path to enlightenment and wisdom is rarely walked. If everything was just about following your happiness and doing what makes you happy, everyone in the world would be an example of wisdom. But that's not the case at all. This is about confronting the thing you least want to confront. An interesting thing about the integration of the shadow, recognizing yourself as a focus of evil, actually strangely makes you respect yourself more. You feel the same respect you might feel for a wild animal or monster. And maybe then you learn to treat yourself differently. This is especially true regarding the discipline of children. If you know you're a monster and this will manifest itself in your life, consciously or unconsciously, you'll be better at disciplining children. Because you don't want to expose them to your dark side. If children behave properly and don't provoke you, this means they will also behave properly towards other people. Then the freak part inside you can remain suspended. This is a great thing. But if you don't understand yourself as someone capable of causing destruction, this destruction can emerge over decades. Think about it: abusing a child. The primitive form of abuse is physical abuse. But the complex form of abuse is the constant undermining of the child's courage, perhaps throughout their entire life. And there's a terribly monstrous element in this. In a way, the entire Freudian psychoanalytic story is this: either you recognize and control the monster inside you, or it affects you. These are the options. And you can't be safe by being castrated, that is, by completely destroying the power within you. It's not possible.